Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps 101 Brief, Detachment 004, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. This video provides an overview of the Air Force ROTC program here at UNLV Detachment 4, home of the Flying Rebels. Please note that this briefing is for informational purposes only. Information and program requirements are subject to change at any time. As a brief overview, we will be going over the UNLV Det 4 mission, paths to commissioning, Air Force ROTC overview, scholarships, enlisted commissioning programs, Air and Space Force career paths, career selection, the United States Space Force, active duty service commitment, and finally, how to become a flying rebel. The Air Force ROTC Det 4 mission statement is to recruit, educate, and develop different, daring, and diverse future leaders. This includes students not only from UNLV, but from our crosstown universities as well, such as CSN, the College of Southern Nevada, and NSU, Nevada State University. Now we're going to take a deeper dive into our mission statement and who we are as flying rebels. We recruit based on character and attitude. We educate cadets to exemplify the Air Force core values, which are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. We develop inherent strengths to build our own brand of future leaders. Different, we are proud to stand apart from the world. Daring, we take risk and are not afraid to stand for what we believe in. We will defend our beliefs with our lives. And diverse, we come from varied backgrounds and life experiences, but share a common love and goal. We use our unique perspective to better the world. We are an elite team. We will teach you the skills you need to succeed, but only you can bring the above. Now, let's take a look at the 3 different paths to commissioning. First, the United States Air Force Academy, which is a 4-year full-time academic military training program in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The Air Force Academy accounts for 20% of new Air and Space Force officers each year. Next, we have the Air Force Reserve's Officer Training Corps, otherwise known as AFROTC. It is a 4-year training program conducted at 1,100 universities nationwide. AFROTC allows you to complete your bachelor's degree as a full-time student while also participating in the AFROTC program part-time. After graduating with your degree and successful completion of the ROTC program, you become a commissioned Air or Space Force officer. AFROTC accounts for 60% of newly commissioned second lieutenants. And finally, we have Officer Training School, or OTS. OTS is an 8-week program at Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. This is for civilians and service members who have already obtained at least a bachelor's degree. It also produces 20% of the newly commissioned Air and Space Force officers. Regardless of the commissioning source that is chosen, all cadets who graduate from either of the 3 different commissioning sources will start at the same rank, second lieutenant, and they will enter the Air or Space Force in a management position. Why should you choose Air Force ROTC and United States Air Force and Space Force? Not only will you have the honor and privilege of protecting and serving our country, you also get to work on personal growth and develop your leadership skills. Additionally, you get a guaranteed job with benefits after graduation. Moving on to entry qualifications. First and foremost, you must be a full-time student with 12 credit hours at either UNLV, CSN, or NSU. You must also be a U.S. citizen before accepting a scholarship or attending field training. No dual citizenship is allowed. You must obtain a minimum 2.0 GPA, but detachment commander expectations are to maintain a 3.5 GPA and above. You must also have good moral character, pass a physical fitness assessment. This includes meeting height and weight standards. You need to be under the age of 42 at the time of commissioning, with very few exceptions. You must pass a medical exam, and you must also pass the Air Force Officer Qualification Test. If you have further questions, please visit afrotc.com/whatittakes for more details. The Air Force Officer Qualification Test, otherwise known as the AFROTC, is a standardized test similar to the SAT and ACT. It takes about 3 to 5 hours to complete and measures aptitude in 6 different areas. Applicants must achieve a minimum score in both the verbal and quantitative to pass. It is also used to qualify those interested in becoming a pilot, combat system officer, or air battle manager, and it is also a component of the Pilot Candidate Selection Method, PCSM. It is important to note that both Air and Space Force cadets must take this test to become an officer. The Physical Fitness Assessment, the PFA, is taken in both the fall and spring semesters. This is to ensure that cadets meet Air Force fitness requirements. The PFA consists of push-ups, sit-ups, and a 1.5-mile run. Additionally, cadets must meet Air Force height and weight standards. It is expected that all cadets attempt and pass the PFA. The PFA is scored out of 100, and the minimum points to pass is a 75. Moving on into program overview, Air Force ROTC is a 4-year program designed to run concurrently with the student's academic degree plan, beginning in their freshman year. Students who are already close to finishing their bachelor's degree can pursue a graduate degree in order to meet the 4-year requirement. For technical majors, they may opt for a 5-year plan, and this is highly recommended. A select few highly qualified and motivated students who are in their second year of college can participate in the program. However, this path is extremely challenging due to the additional workload and time commitment involved, with trying to make up a whole year of AFROTC, academic and leadership courses in just 2 semesters. There are very few exceptions to this option. Please note that after completing your initial undergraduate degree, you are no longer eligible for AFROTC scholarships and must fund any additional schooling required to complete the program at your own cost. Now let's talk about the first 2 years of Air Force ROTC. General Military Course comprises of the first 2 years of Air Force ROTC. GMC cadets are taught Air Force heritage and values, team and leadership fundamentals, the basics of drill and ceremony, and dress and appearance standards. All cadets must successfully complete classes in aerospace studies, attend physical fitness 2 times a week, and pass all leadership laboratories that are a part of the AFROTC curriculum. Additionally, cadets must wear the uniform to all classes on the days that they attend aerospace study classes and leadership lab. Now let's talk about the Professional Officer Corps Selection Process, PSP. This is a headquarters AFROTC selection board. Cadets in their sophomore year must compete in PSP if they wish to move forward in the program. GMC cadets are nominated by their detachment commander, and cadets may only compete for PSP twice. The minimum eligibility requirements are listed below. Before a GMC cadet can gain entry into the Professional Officer Corps, they must attend field training. This is a mandatory program funded by Headquarters AFROTC for select cadets to attend. Field training is where selected GMC cadets are evaluated on their individual and group leadership capabilities over the course of 15 to 20 days at Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. Cadets also receive enhanced military training such as combative, small unit tactics, tactical field medical care, air-based defense, etc. It is important to note that selection for field training is extremely competitive, and not all GMC cadets are nominated by their respective detachments. Additionally, Headquarters AFROTC does not invite all cadets that were nominated to attend. Cadets who successfully complete field training receive an enrollment allocation into the Professional Officer Corps, POC, and are contracted to commission into the Air or Space Force. However, it is important to understand that POC cadets are not commissioned until they successfully graduated with the degree specified in their academic plan and have fulfilled all AFROTC and Department of the Air Force commissioning requirements. POC cadets lead their detachments, with their primary function being to train the GMC cadets during the weekly leadership labs and physical training. Additionally, POC must be in a full-time student status and pass all aerospace study classes, leadership labs, and physical fitness assessments. POC cadets also must wear the uniform to all classes on the days that they have aerospace studies classes and leadership lab. Air Force ROTC offers 2 main scholarship programs in order to meet officer production needs of the Air and Space Force. One for high school students and one for college students who are already AFROTC cadets, with the majority of scholarships being granted to students pursuing STEM and nursing degrees. The High School Scholarship Program, HSSP, offers 3 types of scholarships. A Type 1 scholarship that covers 100% of a cadet's tuition and fees at any academic institution, whether public or private. A Type 2 scholarship covers up to $18,000 per academic year towards tuition and fees at any institution, public or private. This scholarship is further capped at $9,000 per semester or $6,000 per quarter. A Type 7 scholarship covers 100% of a cadet's tuitions and fees at any public school where the student qualifies for the in-state tuition rate. Remember, students must attend an academic institution with an associated AFROTC host or crosstown detachment. Scholarship recipients will also receive a monthly stipend of up to $500 based on their student status and an annual book allowance of $900. If an applicant is awarded a Type 7 scholarship, he or she may convert it to a 3-year Type 2 offer. If the applicant is awarded a Type 7 scholarship, he or she may convert it to a 3-year Type 2 offer, but may only activate the scholarship during his or her sophomore year. For more details on HSSP application process, please visit afrotc.com/scholarships/highschool/application. To qualify for the high school scholarship program, students must be at least 17 years old at the time of contracting and no older than 30 as of 31 December of their commissioning year. They must also be a U.S. citizen or be able to obtain U.S. citizenship by the end of the projected term of scholarship activation. They must also have a minimum 3.0 GPA and a minimum 1240 SAT or 26 ACT score. Additionally, the applicant must complete an Air Force physical fitness assessment. The assessment is to be administered by a high school official. This includes physical education teacher, principal, counselor, coach, etc. There are no minimum requirements for the physical fitness assessment. However, your performance will be considered by the Scholarship Selection Board as a factor in their whole person evaluation of your application. In addition, the PFA provides a good indication of how much work you may have to do before you enroll in Air Force ROTC as a college freshman. Upon receipt of applications, AFROTC headquarters will notify the detachment closest to the applicant, and the detachment commander will conduct an in-person or virtual interview with the applicant. The detachment commander will then notify AFROTC headquarters with his or her decision to recommend or not recommend the applicant to be awarded the scholarship. The In-College Scholarship Program provides 2 to 3 year scholarship offers to GMC cadets to help AFROTC meet officer production goals. Similar to HSSP, cadets compete in the ICSP on a national basis. ICSP scholarships are reserved for highly qualified cadets whose documented outstanding performance within detachment merit scholarship consideration. Detachment cadre evaluate current cadets on their academic performance, physical fitness, and academic major to determine eligibility and competitiveness for scholarship nomination and consideration. Listed are the requirements for the In-College Scholarship Program. More details and information can be found at afrotc.com/scholarship/college/requirements. The General Charles McGee Leadership Award, CMLA, is awarded to all POC cadets who are not already previously on scholarship. There are 5 enlisted commissioning programs that Headquarters AFROTC Scholarship Branch manages. The first 3 programs in the blue on this slide include scholarships for Outstanding Airmen, SOAR, Airman Scholarship Commissioning Program, ASCP, and the Professional Officer Corps Early Release Program, POC-ERP. These 3 programs are offered to regular Air Force enlisted personnel and require separation from active duty to contract into the Air Force ROTC program. All applicants who are selected and authorized to separate from active duty must enroll and contract with AFROTC within 24 hours from their date of separation as indicated on their DD Form 214. Once the student is enrolled in AFROTC, they become traditional cadets and will commission through AFROTC upon graduation and completion of the AFROTC program. The last 2 programs in orange on this slide are the Senior Leader Enlisted Commissioning Programs, SL-ECP-A, and the Nurse Enlisted Commissioning Program, NECP. Applicants selected for these programs remain on active duty, and they are full-time students administratively assigned to AFROTC detachments. The best point of contact for these programs are the base education offices, and please visit afrotc.com/scholarships/enlisted/ASCP-SOAR for more details on the application process. Here's a list of career fields you can potentially be a part of in the Air Force. This list is not all inclusive. Here's a list of career fields you can potentially be a part of in the Space Force. There are many factors that contribute to which career field you will ultimately be selected for in the Air and Space Force. Those factors being the needs of the Air and Space Force, your medical and physical qualifications, personal preference, college major and GPA, AFROTC scores, physical fitness assessment scores, detachment commander's ranking, and field training assessment. What is the United States Space Force? The United States Space Force is the 5th and most recent branch of the United States military. It is focused on securing our nation's interest in, from, and to space. Essentially, it is a warfighting domain that operates within space. Additionally, the United States Space Force is under the Department of the Air Force, hence why you can commission into the United States Space Force through Air Force ROTC or any of the other Air Force commissioning sources. How do you join the United States Space Force? Well, you must be within good standing of commissioning source and partake in an interview selection process. The first 2 years in AFROTC are non-committing unless you have received an AFROTC scholarship. After contracting or after you graduate, you will incur military service obligation. Those obligations being 4 years for those entering non-flying career fields, 6 years for those entering air battle manager and remotely piloted aircraft career fields, and finally 10 years for those entering the pilot or professional career fields. And finally, how to become a flying rebel. First, you must get accepted in the UNLV, CSN, or NSU. Next, please visit unlv.edu/AFROTC/join. You will then complete the online AFROTC application by clicking the Apply Now button in the Start Application section of the bottom of the page. Please take your time to provide thoughtful and well-constructed answers, otherwise your application may not be considered. Once you've completed the application, email Detachment 4 Cadre at afrotc@unlv.edu for further guidance. If Detachment Cadre recommends you for entry into the program, then you will sign up and attend new cadet orientation prior to the term start date. Finally, you will register for the appropriate aerospace study classes. Detachment Cadre will let you know which classes you will need to register for during orientation. Please visit the Air Force ROTC and our Detachment UNLV websites for more information. We hope to see you soon, and until then, go forth and conquer.